Hey guys, we're back with the Root Trees Are Dead. Okay, so first let me send a shout out to a viewer. I'm going to completely butcher your name. I do apologize in advance. Arnie Lil Lily Setter 4755. Thank you for the tips. I always appreciate tips. I tend to be very spacey and overthink things and hyper focus on details. So if you notice something that I'm missing, please feel free to point it out. As long as there are no spoilers, I am happy. Always happy to take tips and hints. I really do appreciate it. It's nothing for me to go back and look at something. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will try to use the notes system more. I like to use pen and paper because one is a throwback to the 90s when we would make notes and pass them around amongst ourselves as we were playing a game because we tried not to use walkthroughs. And two, I have ADHD. It helps me focus. Like when I take notes, it helps me like physically take notes. It helps me focus um, on the subject and absorb it. Um, so even when I was in school, if I would take notes on my laptop, I'd go home and usually rewrite a lot of the notes that I had taken. It just helps with my processing. But what I am going to do is I'm going to try to use the notes feature more in this. And then when I go to edit the video, um, I'll make my pen and paper notes. That way, it saves me time on editing the video. It makes it flow much more easier for you, the viewer, and it'll help me, process the information a bit better. So let's jump back in here. I did notice a few things that I missed. And again, thank you for the tips. I appreciate it. I always encourage that. It's always welcomed. Let's jump back here. Now, I believe, didn't I identify? I believe I identified the parents last time. So we know that the father, Carl, is president. I know the mother, Brenda White, I believe her name is. Um, I know she's in fashion. Can we go ahead and name that? We don't have pictures yet. Yes. So I think we can go ahead. And then I remember you gave me a tip about searching. So it would be Carl Roottree. We'll do president. I didn't ask her. I don't know, like, we could try first. I don't know if that's accurate or not. But it didn't ask for her. I know she's in the fashion industry, but I can't remember what. We'll find it. We'll find it. Um, what else? What else? What else? Oh, apparently there's a song we can listen to. So, okay, here it is. All right, I don't hear it. Maybe I need to exit out. Oh, it's not playing. Huh. Yeah, it's not playing. Well, that's a shame. Maybe that's something on my end. Maybe I've done something to the settings, but it's not playing. That's a shame. We'll try again. Um, Let me look at my evidence real quick. Oh, we haven't finished our list, have we? Why don't we finish our list? Did I already look at Gwen? Let's look at Lauren. So Lauren Roottree. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit slow right now. I've been running around all the city all day and I'm exhausted. Author Lauren Roottree, a distant relative of the Roottrees sisters, is known for her book A Life Between Wars. According to a website about famous authors in the early 1960s, Lauren released a few romance novels under her married name, Lauren Rafferty, to little fanfare. When her publisher learned she had been keeping diaries about her famous family, they insisted she release them under her original name, Lauren Roottree, to take advantage of her family's notoriety. The selection of diary entries, released in 1965 as A Life Between Wars, spans from the untimely death of her husband in World War II to coping with the post-war world as a young widow and mother, as well as her perspectives on changing times and socialites all the way through the entry into Vietnam. While the content is not considered particularly relevant to modern audiences, it has found new life as an exercise in high school English classes to show an evolution in writing style and for a look into life in previous generations. After the success of her diaries, her publisher re-released her romance novels under the name Lauren Roottree. This included Romance in the Court, which gained notoriety. She followed the release by writing two new sequels, created what fans refer to as the Court Jester series. You find no recent details about Lauren, though she's listed as retired. Romance in the Court. I wonder if there's a fan site dedicated to this. Romance in the Court is a book by Lauren Roottree, is the first and most famous of a series of 3 books, often called the Court Jester series. All 3 books in the series are about different romances, but told via the same narrator. You can probably surmise the narrator's profession. The 2 other books are called Return to Court and New Romance in Court. Searching for them online yields few results. The books had some popularity when they were released in the late 60s. Now, 30 years later, they aren't in high demand. All right, let's, where is Lauren Roottree? Lauren Rafferty. Let's see what it says under here. It's the same thing. What her husband's name would be. I just need to figure out where she is placed. Because her husband's last name would be Rafferty. Public Library. Okay, I know what to do. Hold on. Alright. A Life Between Wars. Lauren. Nope. Did they say it was under Rafferty or did it say it was under Roottree? Here we go. Published 1965 hardcover student edition, republished 1993, nonfiction. Seems you've hit the jackpot here. This book occasionally taught in schools. You can even find a hardcover edition for students that has full-page, high-quality pictures in it. The summary of the contents of the book, photos, as well as some particularly relevant entries from the diary have been added to your evidence. Woohoo! Okay, what? Oh, that's all there is. Wait, why is it flashing 7? Ah, this is why. Well, look at that. Oh my gosh, look at this man's tie. Honey. Oh, and I love her hair. Okay. Lauren's diary contains some labeled pictures. This is the next generation. Caption: an attempt to recapture the spirit of the 5 pieces photo. I keep seeing things about 5 pieces. I need to look it up. Photo with our generation. For old time's sake, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand all the way to the left. So I assume it's my left. That's Eli. Since to me it looked a lot like Pap did in the old one. Okay. But I was outvoted by my brothers. Oh, that's not Eli. They insisted the 4 of us stand together. So we clumped up in the middle and let everyone filter in behind and in front of us. I'm going to assume these are the 4. Because they're clustered. And then there's someone in front and the people behind. So that is not Eli. The only one too good to make an appearance was Gwen. So Gwen is not in this picture. Grandma insisted we include Sam even if we didn't want 2. None of us understood why, including Sam. I also didn't think it fair Miracle made it in since he's technically a 5 piece. I guess my inner child still holds a grudge even after all these years. Okay. I think this is Lauren. I think that's Lauren right there. Um, insisted we include Sam. None of us understood why including Sam. I think Sam is maybe that's Sam. Sam could also be a girl. Sam could be short for Samantha. Um, Miracle made it in since he's technically a 5 piece. So Miracle's either him or one of these two. I guess my still holds a grudge. I think this is Lauren. She looks a lot like what's George Clooney's mother's name? Oh, I can't think of her name, but if you've seen White Christmas, so George Clooney's was it? No, it was his aunt. She's most famous for being in White Christmas. She was one of the sisters, and she was actually a very popular singer, and they wanted her to do movies as well. And she was attractive, so I assume they were like, well, look, she's pretty, she can sing, and she's not a bad actress. So but for whatever reason, it didn't work. I think White Christmas was her only big movie. So, but I thought she did a great job in it. But yeah, that's if you've ever seen. Is it Rosemary? Rosemary, something like that. She looks a lot like her. But I'm loving Miss Thing over here with the red curls and that beautiful turquoise dress. Oh my gosh, I love him. This tie is everything. And look at this little scamp. Look at this little scamp. I love family photos. Okay. Let's see. What else do I have? I have more evidence. Okay, here's another photo. Lauren's diary contains some labeled pictures. This is the 5 pieces. Now, if I recall correctly, that's references the candy, right? Because the candies had 5 flavors, and it was to honor the 5. Caption: This picture was famous in our house. Pop even had it framed. That's him on the left. Him? Papa even had it was taken in 1935 to celebrate the move to the new warehouse that Eli Jr. designed. Okay, so maybe that wasn't Lauren that I was looking at earlier. Because she said Pop. Oh, was she was in the 1960s, right? Okay, see this is why I take notes. I need to take notes because I'm getting confused again. Okay, that's fine. I confused myself. Hold on, let's read what it says. Lauren's diary contains some labeled pictures. This is the 5 pieces caption. This picture was famous in our house. Pop even had it framed. That's him on the left. It was taken. We're gonna go ahead and take it because it's Pop. It was taken in 1935 to celebrate the move to the new warehouse that Eli Jr. designed. That might be Eli Jr. right there. Angie and I both wanted to be in the photos since Miracle was in it, and the 3 of us were all about the same age. We were told only the 5 pieces, which really didn't go over well to say the least. Eventually, I suppose to stop the tantrums, they posed us in front of the camera with Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. I found out years later that they never even took a second photo. Okay, let's go back. So now wait a second. An attempt to recapture the spirit of the okay. Okay. So Lauren, this is Lauren in here. I assume this is Lauren. Because they're recreating the 5 pieces photo for the new generation. Okay, see, this is where I confuse myself. Okay, that makes sense. This is the second generation. Right. Well, not the second, the next generation. Okay. So this is the original 5 pieces. Eli Jr. I don't know how old this person is. I can't tell. I assume this is Eli Jr. though. To say, eventually I supposed to stop. They posed us in front of the camera. I should do. Just stand all the way to the left, since to me he looked a lot like Pop did in the old one. So this guy looks like Pop, right? If this is Pop, the one that looks closest to Pop is him. So this would be Eli. So that's Lauren, that's Eli. Gwen is not in this. I also saw a name Gwendolyn. I assume Gwen is named after Gwendolyn. Okay. We include Sam. I'm assuming Sam may be either a child of divorce or illegitimate. Okay. What did it say about this one? Gwyneth. Okay. So we already identified the three sisters. Who is she again? Gwen Roottree. Gwen was the one, she was the one that did make it into the photo. And she was the movie star. Okay. So wait, what else do I have? A Life Between Wars. There's Lauren. So let's compare her again. Yep, that looks like her right there. She looks just like Rosemary Clooney. Okay. Captures the evolution in perspective from adolescence to adulthood. Okay. Oh, there's multiple. Oh, okay. Hold on. There's this thing's huge. The below are notes and observations she made while skimming through Lauren Roottree's diary pages in A Life Between Wars. Lauren Roottree is on the notable Roottrees list in your evidence. She will be marked on the chart with a star. The book was published in 1965 and consists of diary entries that stretch from 1940 to 1965. Let's go ahead and grab both these photos. I don't know which one I'm going to use. The most important event, that which the diary and Lauren's thoughts revolve around, was the loss of her husband, Jacob. Okay. Jacob died in the final... Where's my notes? I need to be taking notes. I am not... Type a note. Okay. I should be doing this. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm really, really tired. Okay. So, Lauren marries Jacob. I'm so scattered today. I apologize, guys. Yielding the following information. She was the granddaughter. Okay. Okay, this is going to help. Okay, it's clear from the context that the Roottrees have internal shorthand names for the different generations of their family. Lauren uses them often. 5 pieces. The first generation of children. Lauren's father was in this generation. Okay, can we just highlight? Okay. Next generation was Lauren's generation. Oh, I didn't put 5 pieces. My bad. Hold on. Whoop. Delete that. That was my bad. Next generation. I'm just going to all this. The Free Spirits. I bet that was Disco Boys generation. Okay. So wait. There's multiple pages. Okay. I should be reading this out loud. Sorry. 5 pieces. The first generation of children by Gwyneth and Elias. Lauren's father was in this generation. The next generation, Lauren's generation. The Free Spirits, the generation after Lauren's, including her son. And she only had one son, Clark. Complaints. The An entry entitled Complaints from Lauren Rootree's Diary, written in 1953. This entry seems to focus specifically on one of Lauren's family members, Gwen, who is on the notable Rootrees list. It seems everyone has something to complain about. Gwen, as an only child, complained of loneliness. I told her that being expected to watch after three younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it fell on deaf ears. Okay, so wait. This is saying, what is this? When I pull that, oh, it pulls it up. Complain of loneliness. So Lauren had three younger brothers. So Lauren, I think. During the summer, I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot. I hoped she would be the sister I never had, and then I'd do the same for her. I even tried to dye my hair blonde to fit in with the two of them. What a mess. But she just complained. To her, I was the lucky cousin. Okay. Okay, hold on. And an aunt. Gwen is blonde. Oh. Gwen and Aunt Margot. I'm going to have so many notes that are going to make no sense. It's just, now she's living the glamorous life. Yeah, because Gwen's the actress. While I'm stuck here with Clark. I must admit, seeing her everywhere contributes to my unhappiness. Her visage stares at me even now from my coffee table. She gets to be in starlet and tell tales of how she gallivants around the world, kissing the likes of Harrison Lane and Wild Bill Williams. Did we read about Harrison Lane? She's the first Roottrie woman to be anything other than a housewife, and I'm jealous. If I were not a single mother, could I make my own way in this world? Okay. I'm just gonna search for them. If I were not a single mother, could I make my own way in this world? But I'm off topic. A girl with all the luck in the world was jealous of me. And now, though I have been undoubtedly burdened by a terrible tragedy, I'm also lucky to be born into a family that can support me for eternity. I can raise a child without worry, unlike countless other widows. If any of them were to hear me complain, they would rightfully scoff just like I do at Gwen. Okay, let's take a second here. I want to see about some of this information. Generation after, so the next gen. What can I find about the five? Does it say anything about the five pieces? From marketing materials and various candy history sites, you learn that five pieces are the iconic candies sold by the Roottree Candy Company. Although they are no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well to this day. Five pieces are small, colorful, shell-coated maple candies that, since the late 1920s, have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf. Although they usually have one flavor that looks more like a berry. Okay, as tastes have changed over the years, so have the five flavors, but the shape and combination with maple have remained consistent. There's also a history of print advertising website that claims to have five pieces advertisement scanned from a book called The Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. Unfortunately, when you click through the website, it seems like all of their image links are broken. See, this is my problem. I have ADHD, so I was wanting to look at one thing, and now I'm just, we're just going to copy this. don't know who the author is. The Sweet History of Candy, Volume 2, by Charles Lee. Charles Lee. Okay, published 1985. This is part of a book series about all things candy in the modern world. It starts in 1925 and continues onward to chronicle the rise of mass production and global distribution. The book ends with a look into the future of candy as envisioned by experts in 1985. With the addition of hindsight, you can clearly see they got pretty much everything wrong. It includes some print advertisements. You find a newspaper ad for 5 pieces from the 1930s added to evidence. Excellent. Okay, what else were we looking at? Lauren's father is part of the 5 pieces. Okay, why don't we, let's take a look here. Let me take a look here. So, here's the first generation. Here's the 5 pieces. I said one was marked with a star. Oh, they've got a few marked with a star. Okay. Okay, so this is the 5 pieces. This is the next generation. And then I can't remember what they said the rest was called. Let me take a look at my notes. Okay. All right, the next generation is Lauren. So Lauren is somewhere here. Lauren's father is up here somewhere. I think this is Lauren because it said she had 3 brothers, right? This would be it. The free spirits, the generation of Lauren's, including her son. So if this is Lauren's, well, it depends on if you had to get. It seems everyone has something to complain about. Gwen, as an only child, complained of loneliness. So Gwen would be Lauren's generation. So she'd be on this line. But she didn't have any siblings. So she could be, hold on one second. Totally expected, it doesn't feel like. Lauren had 3 younger brothers and an aunt, Margot. So Margot is one of the 5. Which means she's a blonde. Right? Yes. Okay, so let's, hold on. Get back over here. Stop. See, I don't like that the note thing is like, it blocks like half your view. But I mean, I understand. Hold on one second. I need to finish reading this, but hold on. Let me go back here. So Margot is in this picture. So if Margot is blonde, this is Margot. So Gwen would be Margot's daughter, right? So Gwen is not in this picture. Okay. Let's go back. What am I? Yeah. Because we're not done with this. 3 younger brothers. She dyed her hair blonde. Now she's off. Yeah. I wonder if I could find anything about her relationships. Let's see. What was his name? Hold on. Harrison Lane. You find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. The site is not very well organized and the search is broken. Man, somebody needs to fix these websites. Like, this is the 90s. These websites aren't that old. Fix them. The site is not very well organized and the search is broken, but you can get to individual pages from your search engine. Harrison Lane was a television actor with a major role in Guys Like Us and some other films. His largest role before Guys Like Us was a villain in the first season of Western Frontiers. Due to the popularity of Guys Like Us, the studio brought Lane back to play the villain's twin brother, this time as a hero joining the protagonist. Western Frontiers has no connection to the Roottrees. Harrison Lane seems to be a dead end. Did you know trivia? Harrison Lane married his high school sweetheart after they reunited at a movie premiere. Okay. Okay. What does it say about Wild Bill Williams? You find some information on a website. You find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. The site is not very well organized and the search is broken, but you can get to individual pages from your search engine. Wild Bill Williams was the leading man of some non-notable movies from in the 1950s. He appeared in an adventure movie called Fortune Favors the Grave. That's an interesting title. Which has yet to be released for home audiences. You don't find any additional information about the film. He was known for his good looks and off screen romances, specifically with blondes. He was married 4 different times to 4 different actresses. There is a famous Hollywood rumor that he even approached Marilyn Monroe at a party and she was already aware of his reputation. Wild Bill grew up in Paris, France. He has returned there often. Now, if I typed in Gwen and okay, I was just going to see if there was any tabloids or anything that might give some more information. Okay, didn't think so, but I was just double checking. Okay, that's fine. Is that all I have? Okay, let's go back to the book. Okay, we have another page. Dynasty. An entry titled Dynasty from Lauren Roottree's diary written in 1958 focuses on the day her grandfather Elias announced that he would step down as president of the Roottree Candy Company and the meeting to determine his successor. I wish I had been a fly on the wall today. Clancy told me that everyone got quite heated. Who's Clancy? Granddad was furious none of his sons would take over as president, but that's what he gets for holding on to it for so long. Okay. With architects, preachers, and lawyers, nobody's got time for candy. So with the 5 pieces refusing to step up, it came down to us next gens. Okay. Pop argued at length that the company should stay with our branch of the family since we still have the Roottree name. I'm not even sure Clancy would have wanted it, but he's the one who was volunteered. I bet Clancy's her brother. She had 3 brothers. I bet he's one of them. Instead, it ended up going to Zach, even though his surname didn't match the candy, so he's not going to be her brother. He's the firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. I'm not sure how that's relevant to running a company, but Granddad has always had very particular views when it came to his bloodline. What was I guess takes over. Firstborn. I know I'm just repeating what is up there, but it gives me extra clarity. I'm not sure how that's relevant running a company. I asked Clancy if it ever came up that a woman could take over. After all, Angie's older than Zach. And I'm the next oldest of us all, but he just I know I saw Angie's name, I think. I'll never forget the cuss words Pop used when he told Ma it wouldn't go to us. Mother, ever the quick-witted, at least with catty remarks, countered at the back. Maybe they wanted it to go to the only member of the family who looks like he samples the product. Okay, so I'm going to assume that Zach is a more uh, husky individual. Um, husky. Um, yeah. Okay. All right. An entry entitled "Sam" from Lauren Roottree's diary, written in 1963. From a previous entry, you learned that Elias Roottree had given in to his wife and announced that Sam, an obscure relative, was to be included in family gatherings. Gwyneth had been pushing to include Sam for quite some time. Lauren writes, "Why Sam? I have many distant relatives I've never met. After all, Granny had sisters and a dad had and Granddad had a brother or two, but I was told trim their branches from the family tree. So why is Sam special? Nothing adds up, and I'm not the only one to realize." Angie summoned all the next gens to a secret meeting in Zach's office. Gwen's in Paris, but the rest of us, including Miracle's boys, so Miracle must be one of the five, or is married to one of the five. Spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. I didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. So that would be Carl Jr. So Carl Jr. is married to Patsy. At the reception, when I asked who Sam was, Pop shushed me and said, "It's complicated." Yes, a he was a surprise. Hopefully, hopefully he felt like a pleasant surprise as he was raised. Okay, let's make some notes here. So we're gonna highlight this. Okay, so Angie, Zach, Gwen, uh, Miracle's sons, um, uh, and Lauren are okay. So Miracle is Jen, or Miracle is 1-5. Okay. Um, Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside farmhands. Clancy is probably brother. Okay, so Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands EC and John when he used to drive past the old Anderson farm on his way to work. Upon hearing that, Zach checked the records and managed to confirm all three are on the books. Who is EC and John? Worked on the probably not important. Alongside Sam. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother. So maybe Miracle was stepmother? Youngest not even chimed in. Apparently, when he was riding his mini bike alongside the farm a few weeks ago, Sam gave him some old tools and taught him how to make the bike's engine faster. None of us think that proper for a multitude of reasons, but Eli certainly seems thrilled. At the end of the day, nothing explains why an outsider has cozied into family affairs, especially one who works on the farm of all places. Whatever happened to blood is thicker than syrup? Why is Granddad making an exception now? One of the final entries, called Clark, from Lauren Roottree's diary, written in 1964. Clark's getting married and, in my opinion, far too young. He's barely 18, and Danielle isn't much older. But openly confronting them would make me a hypocrite. After all, Jacob and I got married at 16. Clark, like the rest of his generation, is a free spirit. What else do you call a group of kids growing up with more money than one person can spend? They all aspire to be musicians and artists and dancers and all sorts of... That is not nonsense, girl. That's not nonsense. Everyone should be able to be creative. Express yourself. Now, I mean, good luck trying to find... Well, you never know. You might find success in that field, but... I mean, if it's your passion, I can't blame people for wanting to try to make a living off their passion. There's a lucky few who manage it, and I always think it's good when that happens. They all aspire to be musicians and artists and dancers and all sorts of nonsense. The only one who has any discipline is Carl, but that's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. Okay. So could that be Clancy's son? Like the rest of the generation is a free spirit. What else? Okay. Okay. So Carl. So Clark and Carl are... I'm going to say that's Carl the Third. Went to the academy. Maybe I'm getting old, but our gen was never so bad. Every generation thinks their generation is the good generation. Every generation craps on the younger generation. Every generation thinks their generation was the one that had the best music, the best movies, the best everything. And it's like, you're just doing what the generation before you did. Like, you've officially become your parents when you do that. I just think it's so funny. It's just like, I like all the generations. They all have something to offer, I feel. I think every decade has like good things about it and bad things, but you know. Maybe I'm just getting old, but our generation was never so bad. My brothers all seem to pursue paths of knowledge, and the most rebellious thing any of them ever did was bring home someone who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Okay. Pop seems to have gotten over it because Edward is set to take over his department once he retires. Okay. This paragraph is important. As for me, my first published book, Swashbuckle My Heart, is based on the pirate stories I used to invent with Jacob when we were walking in the woods after school. I think he'd be proud that Clark and I are carrying on his name. Even my cousins are doing well. Zach's not a bad president after all, and his sister seems to be doing a good job raising her twins. Okay, wow, more stuff here. Okay, so Zach, I know I've already got this down. President, has sister, has twin nieces. Gwen is Gwen, but at least she came out of the divorce with her head held high. She even told us she might come home next year so we can meet her kids. Gwen has multiple kids. Gwen, divorced, multiple kids. But they're free spirits. In any other family, they'd all end up on the streets. Even Clark. Well. Okay. Wow, that is a lot. All right, let's. What is this again? This is the names. Okay, we're not. Let me go back here. Why doesn't this play for me? I don't know. Marketing items. It's a miracle, a modern candy for a modern society. Roottrees 5 pieces contain 5 different maple infused flavors. The Roottrees are a proud family business, and our flavors are inspired by our children. G is for grape, E is for elderberry, CE is for cinnamon extract, M is for melon, and introducing M for miracle berry. What did I have to say about miracle? Miracle was a name that popped up. Miracle's youngest, not my brother. Miracle's one of the 5. E, C, and John. Okay. You found this advertisement in The Sweet History of Candy, Volume 2 by Charles Lee. It's from 1928, 6 years after the debut of 5 pieces. It states the flavors are inspired by the children. The order is grape, elderberry, cinnamon extract, melon, and the newest flavor, miracle berry. I think the reason they are highlighting the letters is because those are the names. G would be Gwen. Gwendolyn, maybe? I feel like there was a Gwendolyn. There's a Gwyneth, and then I think it's Gwendolyn, and then I think it's Gwen. E. Eli. We've seen Eli several times. So somebody named Eli probably. CE. I don't know who CE is, and I don't know who M is. We have another one, a miracle berry. Miracle berry is the burst of beautiful blossoming blended berries. Try it today. So there's 2 M's. So we've got G, grape, E, elderberry. Actually, E, elderberry, Eli. C, E, cinnamon extract, M, melon, and M, miracle berry. Okay. Okay. And I know I wrote something about Miracle's kids. What did I say about Miracle's kids? Eli. She had a kid. I think there's more than one Eli though. I think I've seen a Eli Jr. or Eli the second. Miracle's one of the 5 pieces. Yes, she is one of the 5 pieces. Miracle's sons. Miracle's boys. She's more than one son. Okay. All right. I think that's it with what we've gathered. Okay. But these are the notable Rootrees. Let's go back here. Wait. Let me look at this for a second. So these are the Miracle had multiple sons. Okay. I feel like I'm like right on the. If I wasn't tired. Miracle Jr. doesn't go by his full name in promotional materials. Instead, he has shortened it to Miracle Jr. Miracle Jr. is a televangelist who's part of the Miracle Network. He used to have a show that aired on local access across many stations in the northeastern United States. According to the website called Clergy Watch, he was exposed and subsequently charged with conspiracy to defraud the public in 1979 when he claimed to heal someone in a wheelchair. A news expose revealed it was his wife Edith's sister in disguise. The author also mentioned that Edith had a bit of a checkered past herself, but doesn't clarify. Okay, so that gives us a little information on Miracle Jr. Revealed his wife Edith's sister in disguise. Yeah, so he was married to Edith. He has since lost his television show. Instead, goes on tour across the southern United States, where he is not well known before the scandal. Okay, I could type in Miracle Network, but I don't think it's going to give me anything. Oh gosh, you found a website for the Miracle Network, a production company run by the Miracle Roottree estate. It's quite bare bones, but has the following blurb: witness the testimonies of the Miracle's Roottree. Of the Miracle's Roottree. Miracle Roottree arrived so late in his mother's life that doctors swore he wouldn't survive his first year. His mother and father, Elias and Gwyneth, named him Miracle because they thought him impossible. He was younger than his brothers and sisters by over 14 years. Wow, that is an age gap. With a birth that late, the final child of his generation was nearly torn apart by countless health problems. But still, with the power of God on his side, he persevered. He triumphed over those complications and even regained his sight to spread the healing word of the Almighty. 23 years later, Miracle Roottree Jr. arrived and became the famous family's second vessel for the higher power. At 18, he had unburdened himself from the Roottree name and took his father's testimony to a whole new level. Via the power of television, Miracle Jr. spread the gospel across the entirety of New England. He has since left the life of glamour and glitz beyond to reach those places that need it most. The power of the Lord coming to a town near you. Below the blurb is a flyer about the tour, which is your evidence. Okay. So I guess we would say he's a televangelist. I don't think they have kids. It doesn't mention anything about their children. Likely no children. Okay. Okay, what's this other one? Miracle Roottree. Oh, I'm making this way more complicated. Okay. Let's take a look. See? Okay. This is our colorful boy. This is our colorful boy. Witness the power of the Lord in the summer 96 Three Generations of Miracles tour, featuring testimony from the world famous Miracle Jr. and a special appearance from Miracle Roottree in his 68th year on God's earth. Children, now welcome. Celebrate with your pastor, Miracle Third, and his wife, Nicole. He actually does have kids. Okay, so this is Miracle the Third. It's Miracle the Jr. Let me revise that. Wait. How do I edit? Okay. Going to marry Edith. Miracle had child. Miracle Third married to Nicole. Fabulous. He's a pastor. There we go. Here. A flyer for the Three Generations of Miracles tour. The flyer is a few years old. It comes from 1996. The names listed are Miracle Jr. is said to be world famous and gets top billing. Miracle Jr. is on the notable Rootrees list in your evidence. He will be marked in the chart with a star. Miracle Roottree, who the flyer says will make a special appearance. Miracle Third with his wife Nicole, who are said to be the youth pastors. Okay. Let's go back here. So they are marked with a star. So if this was Miracle, then it would be... Hold on. Get this over here. Miracle, Elias and Gwyneth, child Miracle Jr., who would be married to Edith. And then they had Miracle Third, who had, now he could have had a second child. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. We don't have a photo of Miracle, but we'll try it. Miracle. So Miracle is a man. And then, oh no 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 no. Well, wait, did I mark? This would be the third. This would be Miracle Jr. Jr. Sorry, I don't mean to keep hitting my cord. We're gonna do televan. Oh, we don't have televangelist. Would it be pastor? Preacher. Okay, hold on. Yeah, preacher. And then his wife is Edith. Do we have an Edith? We have an Edith Jacobson. Okay, so let's see. That is a good looking kid, I'll say that. Miracle Third. He looks like a Ken doll. He would also be a preacher. Well, they said youth. I don't think there is a youth pastor. I mean, it's kind of in the same profession. So, well, it is this pretty much. And then he's married to Nicole. We have two Nicoles. We don't know which Nicole. And then this would be, did I already mark him down? Nah, I feel like it's not correct because I feel like, what is all this? Once you verify this, oh, wait, hold on, what does it say? Once you verify this person, I can't read that. It cuts off. Yeah, I feel like if that was correct, it would mark it. Because this would make more sense because there's a 14-year difference, so he wouldn't be he pretty much wouldn't be the same gen, which would put these two down a generation. Because his kids would be younger than this line, than the next gen. And then his kid would be younger than this line, it would be more close to this thing. I think that's right, but I guess maybe not because it's not. Because the others, maybe it's this one, but they shouldn't have split up. It didn't say anything about them splitting up. I mean, I could always change it, I guess. But look here, there would be a whole nother generation here. I don't think that would work with the timeline. Because again, Miracle is 14 years younger. He's practically another generation. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, what else is going on here? And then who do I have? No, 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 I didn't mean to hit that. What happens if I type in? See, look at all this. Look at all this. Didn't they say that Gwen the movie star had a divorce? And they did have a kid, I think. Well, she may have had multiple kids. Let's take a look. This may be Gwen. So, this would be Margot, maybe? Gwen? Did I say whether or not she was? Generation, but Lauren's father was this generation. We still haven't figured out who Lauren's. Who is Lauren? Lauren had a son, Clark. She had one son, right? Wasn't it just one son? This will be Lauren. This will be Lauren. And then Clark. And I remember she was disparaging of Clark. Maybe he had multiple divorces? I bet this is Lauren. Wait. Isn't she on the notables? Isn't she on the notables? Hold on. Oh, I'm gonna go over my time limit so bad. But wait. Yep, there she is. Okay, let's play around. Let's try because I think it won't count it if it's not correct. Let's try. Because Lauren had 3 brothers. So, do I have a photo? This would be Lauren. Lauren. Roottree. Because she used to be called Rafferty. Her husband died. What was her husband's name? I wrote it down. Who is it? I did not write it down, did I? I didn't write it down. I did not write it down because I am at okay. Hold up. There. That's right. She and Jacob were high school sweethearts. That's why she used to walk home with him and speaks of him in past tense because okay. Jacob was her husband. Duh. Okay. This is Jacob. Jacob Rafferty because that used to be her last name. She's an author. She had 1 son. These 3 entries are correct and have been locked. Hold on, wait. We're going to go a little bit longer. Give me a second here. Booyah. Okay, Clark. I don't have a photo of Clark, do I? That's okay. What was Clark? Clark would be Rafferty. There we go. And then, did she say he was a musician? I wish I could do like a search on my notes. Yeah, Jacob passed. Jacob was her hubby. It took me way too long to get there, honestly. It took way too long for me to get there. Clark and Carl, possibly the 3rd. Carl may be Clancy's son. Clark's getting married, in my opinion, far too young. Danielle would be his first wife. Who do I have? Is there only one Danielle? There's only one Danielle. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and mark it just because. Now, she had 3 brothers. Gwen is the child of Margot. I think this is going to be Gwen. Because she split up from her husband, right? What name? I just want to type it in and see what I get. There's a Margot Roottree. Margot could be Melon. And then let's see if I say Gwen. Yeah, she went by the last name. She didn't take her husband's last name, right? This would be her. She's an actress. Or actor, it'll work. I know I saw who she was married to. I'll just pull her up again. Gwen was the granddaughter of Elias, the founder. She shouldn't have been named Roottrees, but her father took her mother's famous name. Okay, hold up a second. What do I have marked on here? So I read somewhere about her divorce. I think maybe it's in Lauren's book. Okay. Where complained of loneliness. Now she's off living while I'm stuck here with Clark. Okay, but I'm off growth. She's the first Roottrees woman to be anything other than a housewife. Okay, so that tells me that all the women did not have a profession. So let's go back here. That would mean that you, Margaret, was a housewife. Okay. So, let's go back to this. Let's go back to this before my brain just completely fries itself. Oh, she's so hard on herself. Don't be hard on yourself, girl. There are a lot of single mothers during World War II. Those world wars were devastating for a number of reasons. So much tragedy. It's just hardship, tragedy, cruelty. It's just, ugh. Just, ugh. Okay, let's take a look here. Let me find architects, preachers, and lawyers. Okay, I highlighted that so I would know that that's what there's not going to be a president of the. Okay, so Zach, we got to figure out who Zach is. I'm pretty sure I think I said Clancy is. Wait. I know I read something about Gwen. Okay, so she has a brother named Eli. And Miracle has a son named Eli. Okay, let's take a look here. So Miracle has another son named Eli. Let's see. It could be any of these. It could be any of these. I know I saw Morden somewhere. What does this mean? This person is in use elsewhere in the family tree. Okay. It could be any of these. It's probably Elias M, as in Elias Miracle, because I feel like they like to use that name a lot. Okay. But Eli would be his brother. Okay. So we know that. Get back here. I know she said something about Gwen's in Paris. Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. Uncle Junior. Do I have Uncle Junior? Who's this? That's Margaret. Margalite? I don't know how you pronounce that. So Uncle Junior would be one of these three. And they married a woman named Patsy. Okay. And let's go back. Gwen's in Paris. They said something about her coming back to the States. Clark's getting married. Maybe I'm just getting old. Zach's not a bad president after all. And his sister seems to be good doing. Okay, so Zach. What they say, Zach is not the next gen. No, Zach is the next gen. It's not the 5 pieces. Right? And then it's the free spirits. What is it? But she came out of the divorce with her head held. She had told she might come home next week so we can meet the kids. So kids. Multiple kids. Yep, that's her. And these are her children. And this is the guy she divorced. And what did I just say about Zach? Zach would be their gen, right? Because it skipped gen. So it would be one of these two. He had twin girls. Crap, it could be any of these. It could be any of these. Okay. Hold up. All right. What else did we discover? Mary Nicole. Gwen divorced, multiple kids. Right. So I just need to figure out Eli. CE. What? I'm just going to pick a random person. It doesn't matter. Who has the initial CE? Wasn't there a Christine? Christopher Hudson. Hold on. Let me type it in and just see. I probably won't get anything, but we'll try it. C E Roottree. I can spell. Okay, let's look. Let's look at the list because we've looked at all these people, right? I haven't figured out which one's Jim yet. That's fine. We'll figure them out. Let's take a look here. Actually, I could. Didn't I already do a live? Wait, hold on. What? Oh, I don't think I did his profession. President. So wait, whoever is. Didn't I mark somebody as president? They should be second president. Okay, it doesn't look like I marked anyone. It's kind of hard to read, but so he's president. She's housewife because she didn't have a profession. Okay. Okay. Look at that. Yes, that's 6, y'all. That's 6. Okay, let's keep going a little bit longer. This video is going to be so long. Oh, you just don't even knock.
I'll try to keep that momentum going. Carl's office was a mess, thanks to some burst pipes. But I unearthed a photo from a 1970s Roottree reunion. I also found some important-looking papers.
Ah. Oh, look at all this. Heck yeah.
You've traced 9 blood relatives so far. I'll have more to share after you find 9 more.
Okay, girl. Challenge accepted. This is fun, y'all. I know I'm slow at this, but this is fun. What is this? The notorious Montjoys. What on earth? So I can look at these posters. Mystery Comics, Tales of Suspense. That looks like a fun read. Okay. Hold on. Riot Girl. Riot Girls are actual like a genre of music. And then they're like a punk, female punk rockers. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, look at, oh, she's got a little baby coming. Vote for Stephanie Jones for City Council. Better for Butler County. This was buried under a ton of other mail that Carl left in his inbox. It had a handwritten note attached that seemed personal. It's a flyer about a candidate for local office, Stephanie Jones. On the back is an excerpt from the newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but in her words, it was still full of love. And now, 22 years later, with a baby of her own due around Christmas, her message for voters is simply love is our future. The handwritten note says, Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflict spread to the next gen. CM. I assume CM is probably her husband. They look so sweet together. So she's Stephanie Jones. Okay. Gotcha. Now I'm going to guess that he's CM. How sweet. They look like a good couple. And I love that slogan, love. Love is our future. I love that. I love that positivity. We need more love and kindness in this world. I can tell you that. Okay. So. All right. Okay. This photo is a note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus when I pulled the water damage picture of the free spirits out of the frame. This fell out too. Written on the back of the photo is couldn't make the reunion. Wishing you well from Paris, Gwen and the boys. This'll be Gwen. These are her two sons. Okay, so we know the gender of her children. She had two sons. They look happy. Look at that blonde hair. Okay. Everyone in this family is good looking, I swear. And even the people they marry are good looking. And it's just like, okay. What is this? Oh, I love this. Look at this. This photo is tucked inside an envelope with a letter beneath a candle in the corner of his office. The letter reads, to Carl and Brenda, I'm sorry that you are unable to attend the funeral. It's traditional to have it as soon as possible, and Ernie, more than anyone else on earth, knew how busy your job can be. I've enclosed a Shiva candle identical to ours if you'd like to pay your respects, though it's not expected for those outside of the faith to do so. I do not know what Shiva is. Is it Jewish? Maybe it's what is the Kabbalah? Maybe. I know I've heard of it. I don't know what it is. Ernie was a man full of love, not only for his family, but for his family's legacy. He had an immense amount of pride for the work you three did together, as well as how Carl has carried on for him after taking over. As for myself, it is impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though we caught it too late for him to get on the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our wildest expectations. It went unsaid at the time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced the trust, and that it was no coincidence that it happened shortly after your visit, Brenda. Okay, I remember reading something about a trust. So we need to look that up. Maybe I already did. I don't know. We'll look it up. Up until the end, Ernie and I had to stay strong, especially for Nicole's sake. We could never have done that without the two of you fighting for us. Much love, Debbie. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to assume Ernie is married to Debbie. I think this is Debbie. I think this is Nicole. There was another Nicole. So it may be from that same lineage. Like she may be named after the other Nicole. So we're going to highlight this. Debbie and Ernie married. Child Nicole. Lineage from other Nicole. And then they mentioned another name. Into the trust. There's no coincidence that it happened shortly after your... Okay, so he dipped into the trust to help them pay bills. An immense amount of pride for the work you three did. It's happened since an early, more than anyone knew how busy. So Ernie's the one that passed. And I had to... Wait, hold on. Okay, so Ernie passed. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's gonna be Debbie. What do we have for a Debbie? That would be later down the line. This looks like a recent picture. Wasn't there an E? Didn't I see an E? We're not gonna use the name. We're gonna type a look. Debbie. There's a Deborah Bean. Okay, and then Nicole. There's two Nicoles. Okay, E. What names do we have that start with an E? Well, that's not gonna be Ernie. Ernest Madsen. Ernest Madsen Jr. No, wait, what did we find with Nicole? Wasn't it Nicole Madsen? Okay, so Nicole Madsen is the child of probably Junior, Ernie Madsen Jr. Unless they had a second child. So, Debbie would be Deborah Bean. Okay. Where's my notebook? Pull it out. Deborah Bean, Ernie Madsen, Nicole Madsen. I should be looking at that long list, but yeah. We're going to do things my way. Okay, let's look up Ernie Madsen. Okay, let's try Junior. Okay. Let's try. What was her name? What was her name? Deborah Bean. Okay. I don't think she'll have a, but just in case. Just in case. Yeah. Trust. What would the trust be called? Roottree Trust? I know I've got it written down somewhere. Maybe Root Trust. No. What happens if I just type in trust? No. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right. So we got some names. What was the political? Hold on, I still got two more things to look at. I was going to look at the political thing. Let me look at the political evidence because they will definitely have something. Butler, because this has a wealth of information right there. Let's look at Stephanie Jones. She has to have a website. She has to have a website. Stephanie. Oh, and I could have done that. It's fine. Jones. You learn from an election results page that Stephanie Jones, a candidate for city council, won her campaign on election day about a month ago. You find no mention of the Rootrees in any articles about her. Stephanie also has a very bare bones website for her campaign. It is simply a picture of her campaign mailer. Underneath it, it says, be sure to read the full article in the Butler County Times. Butler County Times. Yeah, I think we've why wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it be over here? And then Stephanie. I've forgotten her name already. Stephanie, have a more memorable name. Stephanie, have a more memorable name. Jones. Jones. How hard is it to remember Jones? The most recent mention of Stephanie Jones is a small report detailing the election results from last month's election. Stephanie apparently won her election. You can also find the full version of the newspaper clipping on the back of the campaign mailer. While most of it is unimportant, you do find the following. Stephanie Jones, born Stephanie Landon, until her marriage to local business owner Brian Jones, has lived in Butler County her whole life. Stephanie grew up in a home without a father. With my mother and her partner, I essentially had an entirely female influence. Okay. So I think that means her mother was a lesbian. Though she is a distant cousin of the Roottrees, her mother, Caroline, a local artist who's appeared in the front page of the Butler County Times in the past, has often come out opposed to the corporation's policies regarding deforestation of indigenous trees to expand their maple farms. Like my mother, I'm not a fighter. I want to bring love to the world. Okay. Okay, there's a lot of stuff right here. There's a lot of good stuff right here. Okay, darling, I feel like we could find you. Okay, so her hubby's name is Brian Jones. Okay, hold on, wait. Now they have an article on her. Caroline, what was her last name? Said she was a distant cousin. We could try Roottree. Wait. Why am I making this difficult? Caroline. Morden. And we already saw a Morden. There's already a Morden. So let's try. Go back to periodical Caroline Morden. Ha ha! God, when I get on a roll. You find a cover story about local art installations, including one by Caroline Morden. There isn't much about Caroline as a person, but this is mostly a listing of art in Butler County. She seems to get top billing. Okay, let's go ahead and write this down. Caroline Morden, artist, activist, mother of Stephanie Jones. Stephanie Jones married to Brian Jones. Okay. Um, let's see what else. She seems to get top billing. Occupying the story, there's an image of Caroline standing next to a large metal sculpture of a mermaid. It's captured Caroline standing next to the sculpture Atlas Burden. This sculpture is one of many works featured in her upcoming book, Self Portrait Art and Beauty of Women. Oh my goodness gracious sakes, we're finding a wealth of information here. Okay. According to the quote further down, Atlas's burden is meant to symbolize a society split by indecision over whether women should be equals or something to protect. The picture on the front page has been added to your evidence. So, is she? What was she? She was during the 60s and 70s. So that would we was second wave feminism. That would track. Okay. So we need to look this up. Caroline Morden. Okay. So copy that. Caroline Morden. And then... I can't. Okay, hold on. Oh, no, wait. Where did I pull it up? Here. Self-portrait art and the beauty of women. Self-portrait art and the beauty of women. Here we go. Okay. Dedicated to Eloise and Stephanie. Mostly black and white pictures of Caroline's art, the centerpiece is a series of full-color nude self-portraits at different ages, stretching from 25 to 30. They certainly have not been added to your evidence. In the intro, Caroline talks about influences. She was one of the youngest of her generation, and in her late teens, she felt betrayed by her sister Gwendolyn and cousin Bonnie. She felt betrayed when her sister Gwendolyn and Bonnie gave up on dreams to settle for boring men. She's spicy. Dying girl. She especially dislikes her brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson, whom she calls completely bogus. Their marriages led to her doubling down on her passions, art, and the environment. She even married a man who was the opposite of boring, which was an overcorrection. She is spicy. She comes out strongly against the Roottree company's effect on the local environment and rues how she was not able to convince her father Zach, to make changes to policy. She also explains that her marriage to Mark led to the most volatile moments of her life, all negative, and that only good thing he ever gave her was a daughter. Leaving them all behind for good has pushed her to pursue her true love's art and the beauty of women. Okay, there is a ton of stuff here, guys. There is so much stuff here. Okay. Okay, so Carolyn Morden. She was not able to convince her father, Zach. Okay, so her father is Zach. Okay. Marriage to Mark. So she was married to Mark. One daughter. Well, I should... Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, wait. Dedicated to Eloise and Stephanie. So Stephanie's the daughter. Who is Eloise? Who is Eloise? In relation to... Okay, so now she doesn't have... So Zach can't be a Roottree because she doesn't have his last name. Unless she took her mother's last name or something like that. So... Let me take a look here. Um, Butler County. What is Butler County? Butler County is located outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. While the Roottree Candy Company now has its headquarters in the city, the company began on a small farm within the Butler County limits, and the area has a lot of history with the family. The Butler County Times is presumably a local paper there. There are likely articles from over the years involving the Roottree family and those adjacent to them. It's been automatically added to your periodical search interface. As a side note, a video game called The Roottrees Are Dead was once set in Butler County. It turns out the creator never lived in or near Butler County or even had the connection to Butler County. I want to see. Can I search The Roottrees Are Dead? The Roottrees Are Dead, not to be confused with a similar game called The Flutenies Are Bred, is a video game about a fictional family called the Rootrees, about discovering their lineage after the Rootree sisters are killed in a plane crash. The game takes place in Butler County, which is a real county in Pennsylvania, but uses fictional elements such as a fake newspaper called the Butler County Times. Wait, isn't there a real... Wait, but wait, what? The creator of the game does not know anyone who lives in Butler County, has never been there. Instead, he just randomly picked somewhere on the map near a major metropolitan area that sounded reasonable and hoped not to be somehow accidentally offend the people that actually live. Okay, so this is meta. This is meta. This is a little Easter egg. This is not. Because I'm gonna say there is in the game there is a Butler County Times, but this is meta. That's cute. That's very cute. I love meta. Okay. What else? Oh, I haven't finished looking at everything. Okay, so this is Brian then. I wonder, so who's Ernie and who's CM? They probably already told us. Okay. Wait. Oh, okay. So is this Carolyn? Yeah, Carolyn's standing next to her sculpture Atlas's Burden. This sculpture is one of many works featured in her upcoming book, Self-Portrait Art and Beauty of Women. The image that accompanied a story about local art in the Butler County Times. It is captioned Caroline standing next to her sculpture Atlas's Burden. The sculpture is one of many works featured in her upcoming book, Self-Portrait Art and the Beauty of Women. Yes, so we're going to go ahead and get her picture. By the way, I'm loving this top. I'm loving the look. I'm loving the wavy hair. Yeah, it's an okay statue. I mean, it's better than anything I could do. Okay. All right, we've got this right here. Oh my gosh. So this looks like it was taken in the 70s. All right, this photo has a note attached from your employer. Every 20 or so years, the Rootrees will hold a big reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is the one from the 1970s, and Carl's the teenager in the middle. So I guess this is Carl. Sorry about the water damage. A pipe burst in Carl's office. On the back of the photo, a childish print writing, it says November. There are also a large number of cursive signatures. They include Bonnie, next President Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Carolyn, Gwyneth M., Gwendolyn, Michael Jr., Jim Roottree, Clark, Carl, and Eli M. Okay. So Clark. I wonder if this is Clark. We know that this is Miracle the Third, right? No, Miracle Jr. Oh, yeah, because it's the 70s. Miracle Jr. This is Miracle Jr. Oh, but I think we already got a picture of him. The rest of them. Oh, she is adorable. She is precious. I wonder if that's her mother, because they're like standing next to each other. Maybe that's the father. She's kind of in the back. Oh, I love her hair. Could that maybe be Caroline? I think that's Caroline right there. So that's Miracle Jr. So there must have been another Clark, right? Or no. Clark would have been... Clark would have been like a young adult in the 70s. So this is probably Clark. And then they said he married young. So that's probably his wife. And then oh gosh. Jim Roottrees. Would that no. We saw a picture of Jim, didn't we? Didn't we see a picture of Jim? We saw a picture of Jim. I saw a picture of Jim. Where did I see a picture of Jim? Yeah, the free spirits. Jimmy. This is Jim. Jim and Diamond. So, I don't know if I'm going to be able to recognize him in this picture. Uh, maybe him? Because he doesn't wear glasses, but his hair would be longer. I don't see, but I don't think Diamond is in this picture. I think that's Caroline. Was it? She said she was mad because Bonnie and her sister Gwendolyn got married and had kids. So I'm going to assume that it's these two. Well, I don't know if she got mad because they had kids, but she got mad because they got married. To boring husbands, including one who was what was his profession? He was a doctor. Um, so I don't know. None of them look particularly doctor like. I don't know. It is the 70s. I don't know what looking like a doctor would look like. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm expected to see somebody with a lab coat or something. I don't know. Yeah, I can't identify hardly anyone from this, but this is a good image to have. Okay, what's this right here? What is this? The Roottree sisters. Okay, we've already looked at this. Then they said they had a bit more to share after 9 more blood relatives. Okay. So this is this Zach? Did I say that this was Zach? Is there anyone in the next generation that kind of looks like Zach? He looks a little like Zach. Could that be his son? Did they say he had a son or a daughter? I can't remember. No, he had a daughter. He was Caroline, right? Wasn't Caroline his daughter? Yes. Caroline was daughter because Zach took over the company. And Caroline hated the company because she thought that they were unethical and she wanted to be an artist. So, Caroline is Zach's kid. Okay, let's take a look here. I probably can't do another one yet because I'm really tired, but where would it be? Okay, my brain is shut down. Okay. Okay, guys, this video is, I don't know how long it'll be when it's uploaded because the beginning is a huge mess. So we're going to end the gameplay here now, though, so I can edit it and try to make it look good. So if there's anything you noticed that I missed, or don't spoil it for me, just leave me a hint. I'll go look it up. We did really well. 6 more. We've got 9 out of 18. We are like halfway there, guys. We have done so well. So well. And my mind just you see, do you see how I hyperfixate and how I confuse myself and how it's like this is it is what it is. It took longer than it should have. But I appreciate you for watching. I hope you had a good time. Hit that like button if you did. Make sure your notifications are turned on for when I try to for when this video gets uploaded. I'm going to try to upload once a week, a video of this once a week. Hopefully the next video will be shorter. But I'm having a really great time. I'm really enjoying this. This is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. So I'm having a great time. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. You guys have a fantastic evening, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.